Welcome back to Q Dads, guys, and yes, it's me, Ben. And today we are covering, of course, episode 6 of Pluribus. And you know what? For me, I think it was a really good episode. Had a few little quirky comedy moments in there, which I really enjoyed. And of course, it had some very intriguing bits, especially with the man from Paraguay, which we will be discussing in this episode. So of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, guys, and keep up to date with everything Pluribus. So essentially, there is a couple of main parts that I really want to discuss in this episode. So because of the pace of the show in true Gilligan fashion, we are going to give you a quick whistle-stop tour of everything that happened. So the episode opens up, of course, with Carol. Now, it picked up right where the last one finished, and what she does is she comes out the building, gets herself a camera, goes back in to record, and we do get to see what was hidden under all those sheets within the freezer. And of course, as speculated, it was body parts. Different ones, and I was quite surprised by this, that they had a variety of different body parts. I was kind of expecting some kind of weird ritual where it was just like all the arms or just all the heads, you know, but still, it was great to see and also very disturbing. But as we find out later on in the episode through a very brilliant video, courtesy of John Cena, of course, it actually details that the reason they use the body parts is because they can't harvest anything. They can't, cut the wheat down. They can't even pluck an apple from a tree. So obviously they can get everything that, naturally falls off. But they do then struggle with kind of maintaining that balance. And still, with billions of people left on the planet, they have to think of an alternative solution. So what these body parts become is this HDP, human-derived protein. So obviously they blitz that up with a mixture of other things. They did confirm it's not solely that. And then distribute it across the world to keep up those calories. So obviously someone like John Cena will need 8 bottles of this human milk every single day. And again, I just like that touch on it, that they've already thought and pre-planned that if someone finds out about the HDP, that they've got this video kind of ready to go. And I thought that was a nice touch. I do question why they didn't just show that to Carol to begin with, but still, it was nice that they created that. So, of course, one of the first main scenes that I want to talk about is, yes, Frenchie and his, Bond-esque kind of reenactment where he's living his best life at a casino, everyone. And at first, I was very confused, guys. Like, people were talking, chattering. I was thinking, is this a flashback? Obviously, until I saw Frenchie, I realised it wasn't. But yeah, they had this real, Bond villain with the eye patch and stuff. Even to the point then where he does win his $5 million. And it turns out that one of those comedy elements that I mentioned was when the guy with the eye patch was, applauding Frenchie for winning the millions. But of course, that was until Frenchie told him to get back into character. And I thought that was brilliant. This whole kind of interaction in how Frenchie's living his life. I think he's really selling it for me. But there is an ulterior plot that I want to discuss. And it could be something small. But I do think that this whole scene wasn't just to show us how Frenchie is developing in this world and how kind of the contrast between him and Carol is so different. I think that it's actually a bit of foreshadowing. So if you think about it, right, all these people in this scene are acting, they're all talking, they're all doing something completely different. And yet, if you think about acting, it is essentially lying with style, I suppose. So when that guy was told to get back into character, he instantly went back in and started lying, saying things that he didn't want or didn't even mean. So then later on, when Carol's confirming that they can't lie, obviously we've only confirmed this from Carol's point of view, that actually, can they lie? Because if they can act and they can create this whole drama for Frenchie's entertainment, then surely they are lying to a certain degree. And yeah, you could say that I'm overstretching it, but just think about it a little bit deeper. If they have the ability to openly lie, to please someone else, then why can they then not lie to, please the rest of these survivors? If they turned around and said, absolutely, when we find how to do this through your stem cells and turn you into one of us, we are absolutely going to force it on you, then it's not going to go well. So they're going to keep up that atmosphere and they're going to lie and say that we can't do it without your permission. Or we're doing this for the nature of humanity. There's a lot of stuff that they're not telling us and they are hiding from us. And I think this kind of acting scene here with Frenchie was a great bit of foreshadowing for that. Again, could be overthinking it, so please feel free to rip me in the comments if you need to. But I'm sticking to my guns, and in 2 or 3 episodes, when it's revealed that they can lie, I'm going to come over with a big fat told you so. But moving swiftly on to the second main point that I wanted to talk about was this scene with the man from Paraguay. So obviously, we skipped back a few days to when he started receiving some of the videos from Carol. Now, he obviously does not appreciate the Hive, doesn't interact with them. When they realise the truth that this whole thing can be cured and that, there's going to be a point where they take over us, that obviously triggers something for the man from Paraguay. So then he goes on this mission to essentially make his way to Carol, I'm going to presume. Now, there was a great funny scene where he said about his mom, and I just found that was absolutely hilarious. But also, this man is very intriguing. He's got a lot of mystery about him, and yet he's going to be making his way to Carol. Now, this could play out in 2 different ways. Does he then see what Frenchie has, with all the women and the casinos and the free lifestyle that he has, and go, actually, I want a part of that and I'm going to take it? Or does he actually stick with Carol and then, try and put a cure to this? But again, when Frenchie was talking about this group getting together on a Zoom meeting, thinking of ideas, he said that they would still have to get the Hive to create all of these ideas. So really, the man from Paraguay and Carol, what are they actually going to achieve together? Let's say they do get together and they think of some way of creating this cure. How are they going to do it? Unless the man from Paraguay is some kind of doctor or professor or scientist, something that we've not yet been exposed to, who has the ability to create this cure. Otherwise, what's the point? They're just going to say to the Hive, I want you to create this, and they're going to go, no, we can't. Like, that's it, end of series. But yes, of course, it was still a good episode, and there's still a few more left to go. So looking at some of these final predictions, it's really annoying me that the Hive are still ghosting Carol. So I really hope that changes and gets flipped on its head. I have seen a few little spoilers out there and heard of them that people have saw from Google Maps or something like that. But again, I'm not going to mention it, so don't worry. But that does open up the possibility of that Hive and Carol relationship that they have, and where that's going to go. Again, not going to mention it because I don't even know how true it is. But thinking about it, are we realistically going to see any kind of cure? Are we going to see any of these survivors get taken back over to the Hive, and allow their stem cells to be taken? Is it going to progress even worse? And, something's going to happen with the Hive and it's going to escalate or turn into something else? I'm not fully sure, but either way, I'm enjoying this series, guys. It's really getting me gripped every single day, and I'm looking forward to when the rest of it comes out. So, yeah, let me know in the comments your thoughts on this episode, guys. And are you enjoying the show so far? What would you change if you could? Would you live a life of Frenchie, or would you live a life of Carol? And of course, what is going to happen when the man from Paraguay actually comes into contact with Carol? How is that scene going to play out? So, yeah, as always, guys, hit me in the comments. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. It really does help the channel to grow, and we enjoy just talking about these shows for you. Hit us in the comments. Let's start those debates. Tell me if I'm wrong or if you disagree. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time with something new.